All right, let's take a look at question 10. In question 10, we're going to be assessed on how to find the volume of a hemisphere, okay? So question 10 reads, what is the volume of the hemisphere that has a diameter of 12.6 centimeters to the nearest tenth of a cubic centimeter? All right, so before we get started, we're going to write down what the formula is. And before we do that, let's take a look at what a hemisphere is, okay? So let's say you have a sphere, okay? So just sketch it. This is our nice little sphere. Now, what is a hemisphere? Okay? If this is a sphere, what is a hemisphere? Okay, sphere is just like a ball, right? A hemisphere is basically a sphere that has been cut in half. Okay? So if you cut this entire sphere in half, what you end up with is a hemisphere. Okay? So let me just do this. Alright, so I just took this sphere right here and I cut it in half, and then what we have is a hemisphere. Okay? Alright, so that's the relationship. So this is a sphere and this is a hemisphere. Okay? And a hemisphere is basically a sphere that has been divided by 2. Sphere over 2, or you can write it as 1/2 of a sphere. Okay? Alright, so now that we know the relationship between a sphere and a hemisphere, we can write down what the formula is. The formula for the volume. So, let's write it down. Formula for the volume of a hemisphere. Volume of a hemisphere. Okay, so the formula for the volume of a hemisphere, let's just call it V of Hemi, is equal to 1/2 the volume of a sphere. So what's the volume of a sphere? The volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, so the volume of a hemisphere is going to be half of that. It's going to be half of 4/3 pi r cubed. And if we simplify that, we will get, so 2 goes there, 1, 2 goes there, so we can divide it out. Well, let me show you the steps. It's going to be 4/6 pi r cubed, which reduces 2, divide top and bottom by 2. If you divide top and bottom by 2, you end up with 2/3 pi r cubed for the volume of a hemisphere. In this particular problem, we're given the diameter, okay? This formula asks for the radius, and we know that the radius is equal to the diameter divided by 2. Okay, so radius is diameter over 2. So the diameter is 12.6. All we just do is divide that by 2, okay? 12.6 divided by 2 is 6.3. Now we are ready to find the volume, because the only variable we need to find the volume of a hemisphere is the radius, and we have it already. Okay, so V is equal to, let's write down the formula again, 2/3 pi r cubed. I'm going to plug in r here, so you have 2/3 times pi times 6.3 raised to the 3rd power. Okay, all right, let's fire up our calculators and compute what the volume is. So we have parentheses 2 divided by 3 times pi, second function caret, times 6.3 raised to the 3rd power. Okay, so we have 523.7 to the nearest tenth. So it's 523.7. 523.7 cubic centimeter. The answer to question number 10 is option number 1. Alright, so in this particular problem, we use the formula for the volume of a hemisphere to find the volume of the hemisphere, okay? But is there a different way to do this problem? Could we possibly have found the volume of a sphere first and then proceeded from there? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Is there a different way to approach this problem other than using this particular formula here to third pi r cubed, the volume of a hemisphere. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this presentation. I really appreciate it. If you found the contents of this tutorial helpful in your preparation for your geometry exam, do give us a thumbs up. Your positive feedback is extremely valuable to us. We'll also like to know what you think about this tutorial, or if you have any questions or comments, just put it in the comment section below, and we'll be more than glad to respond. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel for updates to the remainder of this review series. More support resources can be found at mathgotserved.com. Do check it out. Thanks again for watching, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.